Hello everybody.
Hello guys.
Welcome to Lionel and Mary. We're so glad to have you join us. Hope you guys have enjoyed our latest video. If you haven't, make sure you go check it out.
Make sure to subscribe and share with your friends also.
Yep. Share your comments as well, your thoughts. For today, as you may or may not know, we've been together now for almost 7 years. So April 5th, 2021 would be our official milestone of 7 years together. So given that we're in our 7th year, we thought maybe we'll hit on the topic of the 7-year itch.
So what is the 7-year itch? When you're in a relationship basically, and you have been cohabitating with that person, like living on the everyday basis with the same person, the emotion and the love and all the things that you used to feel at the beginning kind of
fade away
a little bit. So sometimes you feel like you live with your roommate. I mean, you don't have the same passion and fire that you used to have at the beginning of the relationship. So for example, for me, Mary, Lionel and I have been together since like I was living in residence at the university. We spent time together, but we're not really living together at that time. But every time you come and visit me, spend time with me, I will be so happy. You have a surprise for me. I'll have like those little tick in the stomach, butterflies, yeah, in the stomach. And like when you come, I don't want him to leave and all of that. But now in 2020, we have 2 kids. I've been living with him for, I would say, almost 7 years now. And when I have a time for myself, I don't even bother calling him. I enjoy, like I'll just be in the sofa, watch Netflix, have the time of my life. But it doesn't mean I don't love him. I'm just saying like the love that we had before is different. But for some reason, every time we apart for a certain amount of time, for example, if I go back home maybe for a month and he stays here, I'm gonna still have those like butterflies moments, missing him. I want to spend time with him kind of thing.
We just had a FaceTime call this morning.
Yeah.
After I dropped Dridri, kind of reminded her of back in the day. So
Yeah.
it kind of sparked something there.
Because when you live with someone basically and you spend that much time with the person, especially now with Corona, we're working at home, we live at home, we eat with all the time together. I went into my WhatsApp and I was looking at the person that I text and I talk, and I'm telling you, Lionel is at the bottom of the list because I don't need to text him. He's he's living with me, right? So you have all those moments like when you're always with the person all the time and you don't feel like you have to work on things. So for example,
we take it for granted.
Yeah, we taking for granted. That's why I keep telling like those videos is kind of like dating kind of thing. We're gonna spend time together, we're gonna talk between each other, but we're sharing those moments with you guys. So it's also a good thing.
Yeah, because it helps us even ourselves revisit those type of conversations after we've done with the video or even before the video, to kind of reminisce and try to see what we really think about it.
Yeah.
Because with one hindsight, you know, your ideas may change and all that kind of stuff. So you want to be more clear about it. So it's an interesting time to spend together. But in terms of the 7-year itch, have we hit it yet?
Oh yes, we did. Oh, we definitely did. They say like it started almost around 4 or 5 years. I would say that around our 4 years, we were still in that honeymoon phase. But when we reach the 5 years and we have a kid coming on top of that, and I have all those change going into my body, like literally, like at one point I was like, is that the way I want to live my life?
We actually got pregnant. We were in our 4th year together.
Yeah, but it really ate me in the 5th year. Like the baby was already dead.
Yeah.
So yes, we have some difficult moments. I'm not going to lie, we reached that phase.
I think we're coming out of the phase now. Actually, I think our 7 year is gonna be a new chapter.
A new chapter.
Yeah. Do you think it happens every 7 years?
Stop saying that. I don't want to go through that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we learn, we share with time. I hope not. I hope like one time it's enough for us.
to realize not to fall into that trap again.
Exactly, and especially that it kind of redefined everything all over again.
Yeah, it gave us better perspective.
Better, because we were what, 19 when we got together. We were just young people being very like in love. I'll say somehow naive.
At 40 we're gonna say we were just 27.
It doesn't negate like all those emotion and feeling that we had, but it's almost like the definition or the vision that we have of love,
Yeah.
it changed with time. Like we realized like love is not just emotion, it's also the little decision that you take every day. Like today I'm deciding like I'm loving Lionel, I'm gonna cook breakfast for him, I want to spend time with him. Oh, maybe if the kids fall asleep, let's spend time together, let's watch a movie that we both like. When we don't feel like talking or like we're mad to each other, we're just gonna sit in front of friends doing hugs and just watching. We'll be like, okay, we know we're mad right now, but we still choose to be together. Those little kind of things.
My theory is that our itch started when she first got pregnant. The woman changes.
Yeah, we do.
They change, and it's very subtle. You can't say that you see it. It really subtly, you guys just distance yourself, like have your own individual resurface, but you don't create that individual together. You create that individual each in your own side.
Yeah, but it's different. There's also like, I mean, I'm talking for me personally. At some point, I didn't know how to bring you into it.
Yeah.
It was so personal, so many things that was. I always felt like
And it was new.
It was new.
Yeah.
I always felt like I could always talk to you, but I couldn't phrase what I was going through. So I was like, what am I even gonna tell him? What am I complaining about? There was no word to describe what I was going through.
And there's something about something new. You want to deal with yourself first and understand what it is before working with somebody else, because I'm the same way. If something is new, I want to figure it out my own and then come to you to tell you what I've come up with, and then you can help me have a different perspective of something like that. And I think she's the same too. It was a little bit new for you and you were like, okay, I don't know what this is, so let me not talk about what I don't know. Let me figure out first.
But I think that's where the mistake was, because like for the time that I was on myself and there was the baby, so I would take care of the babies, I would be like, without even knowing, I would distance myself from him, and like the emotion connection will start fading away, the physical will start fading away. Without even realize, we feel like there's thousands of miles between us while we're still living in the same house.
I think that everything is still normal, but little by little you start realizing that you start looking at the person differently. You start looking at the person with a little bit of resentment, saying like, it didn't used to be like that before.
And there's also the fact that I think in our relationship we really needed to accept, it was the fact that we got together very young. Even if you're not young as individual, you should grow. You cannot be the same all your life. So like the acceptance that Lionel has some individual growth that he needs to do to bring that to the relationship, to make the relationship even better, and the same thing needs to happen with me. But when those growth was happening, instead of kind of like unified, we were almost like dividing them. But the reality is like we decide to be together. We decide to love each other. And like we have to go through things together. It's almost like you want to protect that person, but the way you go by is the wrong way to go by. I don't know if it makes sense.
There's no dealing with something on your own. The idea of dealing with something on your own is over once you guys decide to be
for sure
a couple.
For anything,
everything
like,
has
just
to be done together. And I think we do it so subtly that you don't even realize, but you're pushing the person away. With her individual self, whatever comes with it, it's gonna affect me. And whatever comes with my individual self, it's gonna affect her. So might as well work at it together, because it's gonna affect both of us anyways. Throughout the relationship, I feel like it's easy to put your guard down. I think we got overconfident, thinking that we were last with that spark and emotion.
It's not just the spark.
It
It felt like we took the love that we had for granted,
Yeah.
and we took each other for granted. It's almost like I never met a man like him. I never met someone that was so ready and that loved me so much or whatever. So I know it's not going anywhere.
The idea that we're meant for each other.
Yeah.
And
you know
you made us work less
exactly
on our relationship.
But the thing is, like, it's because you meant for each other that you should work more on the relationship. It's good that it's easy to go back to the feelings and all of that, but it's also like the work in the relationship that gives the value of the relationship.
I think it became too easy for us.
Yeah.
At the beginning, everything was so natural, so easy. You couldn't picture us feeling more distant or feeling resentment about each other. That didn't make sense. Even talking about it now, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it happens, and it happens so subtly, so seamlessly that you take it for granted. And if you keep your guards down too long, it might really distance you guys and really divide you guys.
So, in the 7 year each, they talk about like when you reach those 4 or 5 years / 7th year.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
It's break or make.
Ça passe ou ça casse. So in our situation, I'm not going to lie, it's almost break. But that's Mary that was ready to run away. But it's almost break. But when I say Mary, it's not me like who just like break the relationship. Like it was both of us basically.
Yeah.
But in the decision of giving up, I was ready to give up on everything. This is an anecdote. Is that the same word in English? Yeah. It's an anecdote for you guys. That relationship that you see right now is really alive because of Lionel, and I'm not taking that for granted. I'm working. I am on that phase now, like, okay, no matter what, I'm not giving up on you too. If you're mad, I don't care, I love you. I'm on that phase now after a 7-year relationship. But at the beginning, the way the relationship starts, there's a lot of pattern that you don't know, and I don't think you need to know. But I was ready to say, Lionel, I don't think this thing is going to work. First, I received call from people who tell me, your boyfriend is from Burundi? You don't know Burundian people. They only date Burundian people. He's gonna stay with you for 5 years. He's gonna break up with you, and he's gonna marry a Burundian girl. I'm not gonna lie. It came at the back of my head because it was so random.
It came and it stayed for a while.
For a while, yeah. It was so random. Like, I met that girl in the supermarket. She used to know me since I'm a little girl from back home. We grew up, and I was like, okay, please meet my boyfriend. His name is Lionel, and all of that. Is from Burundi. And she was very nice talking to Lionel. And as soon as I get home, I receive a text. Can I call you? And all of them. I'm like, yeah. And she called me. Yo, run! Like, literally, she was like, run away from him. He might love you now, but I know that for a fact, those people, it's not like I'm saying like he thinks about me, this is what's going to happen. So at some point I was really looking at him. I'm like, Lionel, I don't want to lose my time. What is happening? So there was that at the beginning. So I was already the one trying to protect my heart, trying to like, I'm not gonna let you hurt me. I'm gonna like, so please leave me alone. I was always like, leave me alone. Let's not be together. I'm okay with being friends. And he was like, girl, what are you talking about? Girl, you're tripping.
That fear creeping in there in her head, which is not really false. Like we tend to end up with Burundians or like Rwanda, Burundi, the two together. So yeah, and even myself, I always imagine myself ending up with a Burundian. If you had told me I was gonna end up with an Ivorian, I would have said no way. But
same thing for me. Yeah, I didn't even know Burundian. I didn't. But it's not like I wasn't about like I'm not gonna marry. I never sat down and think that way.
It wasn't like a no, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't picture it with the past relationship that I had.
I had people that I knew from school that was, I'm not gonna say any name, that was from Burundi and Rwanda, and they were saying no offense and all of that, but like I always thought Lionel was going to end up with a Burundian girl. I don't think like it's gonna go too far. I wasn't really looking to go that far at that point of the relationship. I didn't even know it was going to be my husband. Man, all of those little things is things that kind of play in your relationship.
And it sticks.
It sticks. It's like when there's so many people that you feel that are against you.
Yeah, it's starting to sound a little bit more true.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like, what the heck are we doing together if people
Why are we
can't...
lying to ourselves?
What? If people can't see us together, why are we trying to be together?
It has to be here.
It's here.
It's here, right?
You have to trust what you have, but you also have to be grateful for the blessing that you get, because for me it's a blessing from God. So if you receive a gift, don't throw it away just because people say, I don't like the gift. They don't like it. They don't like it. It's not for them. It's your gift. So you have to be grateful for the gift that you just received. So it's something that took me a long time to realize, obviously, but and it also play along with the 7-year itch.
7-year itch for you, is it a myth or no myth?
It's not a myth. For me, it's a fact. For our relationship, I feel like it's a fact. Yeah. But I also think it's something that can be avoided.
Yeah.
In our circle, we were the first for everything. The first to get married, first to be in a relationship that close, first to have kids, first to, I don't know, move in together. There's so many first steps that we did, but there's also like, if Lionel, for example, is going through something in the relationship, he didn't have people that will help him, like understand, go through stuff and all of that. And same thing like for me.
Yeah. But you still have to have friends that are going through it at the same time as you, or has gone through it.
For them to understand.
For them to understand. And most of the friends that I have was not even close to even thinking about where I was at the time.
Yeah.
I was the crazy one. I was the crazy one for doing what I did. But for me, 7-year itch, myth or not myth, for me it's not far-fetched. I think it's a real thing. I don't think it was our thing. I'm still convinced on my theory that the pregnancy changed the dynamic of the relationship, which changed how things worked. But I can really see it. It's not far-fetched. It's very possible. Things are very subtle, especially in the day-to-day. Someone you've been with daily, on the daily. Yeah. It's so easy to distance yourself without knowing that you are. It's almost like the relationship, just like the individual, has a subconscious and a conscious level. We were in the subconscious of distancing ourselves for a long time before we even realized to put it in the conscious level and say like, yo, this thing is real, we have to combat it. And you can't combat something if you don't see it, right? So you have to keep your guards up, keep living like this thing can slip away, and you can't let it slip away.
But as I say, people, there's also the work on the relationship that kind of need to happen before you live with someone or you get married. I don't know if you guys know, but back in the days, or like if you're Catholic and all of that, or if you're Christian, there's that work that you do on the individual, on the relationship before you get married to that person, right? But for us, it's almost like our only guidance was each other. So sometimes it's not enough. It's not enough because each one of us come with baggage. Like Lionel, sometimes I don't know how he deals with me, seriously. I can't deal with myself. I'm better now, guys, don't be scared. I'm just saying that from our own individual baggage, like the way we were raised differently, and also the fact that I always felt like he was living in kind of like a bubble. I felt like Lionel didn't know what pain was. Sometimes we sit down and I look back to my life and all those decisions that I had to take since I was 6 years old, and all those dumb decisions, no offense, that he had to take through his high school and all of that. I felt like he makes me grow up faster than maybe I was supposed to grow up. But at the same time, now that I came to like the relationship, I find like my husband, I always say my soulmate and all of that, and I kind of settled down. Now all those things that I wasn't able to cry about, I wasn't able to be scared about, and everything kind of like is coming out. It's almost like all those things that I put in the back door that I have to deal with, and it's not easy because even if it's my thing to deal with, it still affects the relationship. So he has to deal with those things too.
And your partner brings it out of you.
Oh, trust me, he does.
Because your partner just sees you even better than you see yourself, for the fact that, you know, they've been dealing with you for so long. They see stuff that you put in your back door. And so a lot of that comes out in a relationship that lasts for a long time. So that's why the 7-year itch is not so far-fetched. Because with time, you know, your relationship is going to build up from subconscious level to conscious level.
The thing that you don't want to deal with is going to come and state that straight up to your face. And after you're going to sit down with yourself and you know it's
true. You were done with, that you feel like you dealt with, it just pop up now, and the person right next to you brings it out very clearly, because they see you in a more objective way than you see yourself. We tend to be very subjective with the things that we go through, but that's what a partnership does, man. It pushes you, it challenges you.
He doesn't like when I tell him the truth. He doesn't like it.
It's almost like a shocking information that you go like, no, I don't do that. What are you talking now? What? No,
he's gonna go through it until he's gonna come back to me.
And then 2 days later, you go like, there, you were right. So yeah, keep your guard up. Keep fighting the 7-year itch. This was our take on the 7-year itch, myth versus reality.
It's for me, it's a fact. It's a reality for Lionel.
I'll say it's a reality.
Oh.
I don't know if it's what hit us. But it is a reality.
Don't take your love for each other for granted. Relationship, it's work, it's all the little decision that little decision that
the micro.
You take every day. And if possible, if you have people that you can talk to around when you go through something.
Have a gang.
Yes, and you don't feel like
a good gang.
A good gang.
A good gang.
You can talk to your husband. Sometimes it's good to get help. And don't bring the D word. Don't bring the divorce word, please, guys. And don't bring the breakup word either. Obviously, maybe you need to say like, okay, let's slow down. Let me think. Let me work. You don't have to say like, let's cut everything out or whatever. But time for you to rethink your thing, to understand what you're going through. This can happen. Work on the relationship. Communicate. There's a lot of things that everybody's dealing with, and if you're about to have a family and raise children, trust me, you have to deal with those things, because if you don't, you're gonna give them to your children. You're gonna pass
your heritage.
You're gonna pass that on to them, and that's not a good thing. And also, I would say pray or do whatever works, but do it together, because something that we find on our verge of the 7-year itch, it was prayer. Prayer really helped us and like kind of brought us back together. You talk more to each other, you open yourself to a thing that you don't know if your partner is able like to deal with, but like it's also like you trust. You surrender to God, you trust, and you say, you know what,
I'm yours. And I think it's the moment of weakness that you realize, you know what, I need you. And it has been in some kind of way our outside gang and our inside gang as well. Because you can work on it individually and say like, yo, Mary, I prayed last night. Sometimes you can work together and say we prayed together. But sometimes when when you feel on your own within your relationship, which could happen. You know, so, sometimes it's good to have the outside help, and also it's good to have the everywhere help.
This is our direct therapist, Jesus. Like we go through him when we go through something, we do it and
we pray about it.
We pray about it, he helps us, and like he also gives us the courage to open up to each other more about things that sometimes things happen in the past and you say it was in the past that I dealt with that. My husband doesn't need to know. Obviously, he doesn't need to know, but you talking about and the person knowing that makes the person understand yourself better, and can help you go through things that you do, and can also help the person be patient with you. Because sometimes you come in like you do all those things that can rip your partner apart and doesn't know where it's coming from, and it's gonna tell the person, wait, what am I waiting for? Like, I'm done with you. What do you want me to wait for? And the person got, please wait. And I'm like, I need a reason. Sometimes you don't need the reason, but sometimes it's also good to have the reason to keep the sane mind of your partner.
And I think it helps you to not come from a fear perspective. I think I don't know for you guys, but I know that for us, like, or for me, praying kind of takes away the fear. Even for that moment I just finished praying, I feel like I can take on stuff, and you're not desperate. You don't feel like despair.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. So yeah, man, prayer has been something that has helped us, reading the Bible and getting back to our Christianity.
Yeah.
Getting back connected to our God really helped us.
And opening ourselves up to each other again, because I think at some point we closed that door without even realizing, and we had to go look for the keys and open the door again. So yes, for all the couple out there, for all those people going through hardship, I know it's not easy, like having kids, taking care of the family, going to work full-time 9 to 5, taking care of the house, and have priorities straight up. Like, it's easy, like, to shift off or to turn off your emotion, or like to not try to do anything, but
available
available present. But you guys, each other come first.
Keep your guards up.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's right here.
Wow.
Alright, take care, guys. This was Lionel and Mary. Hope you guys gonna enjoy this, and hope we're gonna see you soon and always. Bye. What does bye mean again? Be with you everywhere.
Oh my God, yes.
Be with you everywhere. Yes.
Okay.
God bless.